And this is Sean's View Entertainment right here on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. It was heavily asked that from my subscribers and my viewers. It was on demand, in demand here on Sean's View Entertainment. It was requested that I give my Hardcore Justice 2015 review TNA. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. First match, six-man tag team street fight, and this thing started off in an extreme, hellacious way. There was bodies everywhere. They didn't even wait for their entrances. This match began as soon as TNA started. And once it started, the action picked up. It was fast-paced. It was intense. It was in your face. But at the end of the day, Davey Richards and the Hardys pick up the victory over the Revolution in a match that I would give at least 3.5 out of 5 stars. I actually felt it could have been a little bit better, maybe a couple of more minutes time, but it was still a strong effort by all involved. And it definitely provided some entertaining spots. There's no doubt about it. So the first segment of the night, you know, first match, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And up next, we would see a pretty explosive confrontation. It was decent between Mr. Anderson and EC3, and this all had to do with Mr. Anderson wanting to end the undefeated streak of one EC3 who has been on a collision course, so to speak, who is making it his own business to become the TNA World Champion in 2015 in TNA. Give that segment about 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of, you know, in-ring promos or segments being a part of pay-per-views. I'd rather just see the matches. But I understand that, you know, this is a TNA pay-per-view, yet it's for free on Destination America, and I understand that. But it was still good nonetheless. And up next, Hardcore Justice would play host to a 4-way ladder match. Another match where, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't really like it. I mean, it had some points. It had some highlights. There's no doubt about it, but at no time was it one of the greatest X Division ladder matches I have ever seen. And, you know, I was actually even more disappointed when Kenny King won the championship. And I understand it's the progress of the storylines. I understand the dirty tactics that the BDC, the Beatdown Clan, uses and the way that they utilize their tactics. But this match just fell a little bit below the radar for me. 2.5 out of 5 stars for this contest. And we would see yet another segment that doesn't involve wrestling on a Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, which is supposed to be their pay-per-view with the hype for the, you know, Kurt Angle match in the stretcher match, which I didn't mind Eric Young's mic work here, all right? It was top of the notch, you know, trying to get over his crazy persona gimmick that he is, the unhinged superstar, the unhinged athlete that he is. But it was okay. Up to this point, Hardcore Justice, it's not really hitting on all cylinders for me at this point. And up next, here's where things started to turn the page, so to speak, on this Hardcore Justice event. It was Taryn Terrell defending her Knockouts title against Brooke. Now, we've seen the different attitude. We've seen a different version of Taryn Terrell along with the Dollhouse, because that's what she represents nowadays. And this match, in my opinion, was my favorite match of the night up to this point. Got to give it 4 out of 5 stars. It comes up with Taryn Terrell getting the victory, but there was a few moments during this match that you thought Brooke was going to have this match, but it was the Dollhouse that would prove to be the distraction. They would be the difference maker in this match. And, you know, this match also told a story, and it was almost about, you know, defying the odds and overcoming the insurmountable you know, odds that were stacked in her way. And you know what? At one point, Brooke took out the entire Dollhouse with a great move from the top rope onto the outside of the ring. And Brooke had things going her way. The momentum was starting to pick up. But in the end, Taryn Terrell would shut it down as the Dollhouse would assist her to the victory. Taryn Terrell still the Knockouts champion. But up to this point, I'd say this is my first favorite match of the night, along with the first match of the night being that 6-man street fight. But by far, I think this was my favorite match up to this point, and it was given, you know, a solid enough amount of time in my estimation. And then Gail Kim would come out, and she would address the current reigning defending Knockouts champion, Taryn Terrell herself. But Gail Kim wasn't the only ingredient added to the end of this segment with Taryn Terrell and the Dollhouse. No, in a shocking development, and something I never saw coming, Awesome Kong, which Awesome Kong and Gail Kim, we know the history, we know their past, we know that Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, they've never seen eye to eye, they've never been on the same page, but now they have something to get ready for the Dollhouse. So it seems like Gail Kim and Awesome Kong have one unique enemy, and that is the Dollhouse. Can you imagine this? Gail Kim and Awesome Kong on the same page at the same time? This could prove to be very deadly for the Dollhouse. So this whole segment together, the match, everything, gotta give it solid 4 out of 5 stars, definitely. Right on with that one. Knockouts, taking names, kicking ass, and showing why this is one of the best parts of TNA Impact Wrestling. One of the reasons why I actually tune into this show. And up next, it was the uber exciting. No, actually, in all fairness, the pipe on a pole match, actually, it was a good match. Drew Galloway versus Low Ki. I felt myself getting very interested into this match. I felt myself on the edge of the seat. It was very physical. It was very intense. It was everything you would expect out of something on a pole match, a la Vince Russo, which I'm a big fan of Vince Russo. You know, he may have been a mastermind on a lot of things, and, you know, it's all about innovation. But, no, this was good. And, you know, speaking about Vince Russo, you know, big news on him in a couple of weeks here on Sean's View Entertainment. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his work and, you know, his mind and trying to pick apart, you know, just exactly what he brought to the table. And he changed the game on the creative scene in the WWE. But, once again, this was a good match. I feel that this was my third favorite match of the night. You know, the way that this TNA Impact started and then it's kind of went downhill and then it's going up. It's got the ups and downs. That's kind of like the story about TNA. The ups and the downs, the good and the bad. And, you know, for me, TNA, they've been having a lot more bad than good. But maybe now, as this program, as this show keeps going on, it is picking up momentum. But is it too little, too late? Give the match... Give the match a good 4 out of 5 stars because they once again had enough time to work with. I wish a couple of the other matches before would have had a little bit more time because maybe I would have been more favorable toward them. But good match nonetheless. And just as I say, the show is picking up momentum. It's, you know, I'm getting even more interested in it. We see yet another in-ring promo on what is supposed to be a pay-per-view. What is this, the third or fourth in-ring promo mic work? Listen, I understand, you know, they're trying to get of a storyline. This isn't the time or place to do it. This is put up or shut up time. This is where you have the matches. This is where you get intense. This is where you get volatile. Anyways, it was James Storm and Magnus. And although it was a pretty good segment, I just didn't think it belonged on Hardcore Justice. We should have saw a match instead. But anyways, things got very heated very quickly. It escalated where trust and jealousy and doubt is starting to creep through the mind. And this whole situation around Mickie James, is she going to return? Is she for Magnus? Is she with James Storm? Is there more to this than meets the eye? So, you know, I like the developments. I like the progression, but I just didn't feel like it you know, it had a place on a pay-per-view like this. So, I'll give it 3.5 out of 5 stars, though. And up next was main attraction. It was main event time. It was Kurt Angle versus the man that could quite very well not only end Kurt Angle's career, but could end any man's career that comes in his way in the World Heavyweight Championship. I am talking about the deranged one, Eric Young. Now, I liked the stretcher match. I liked how they threw a little swerve in here. And, you know, you didn't have to go over a line. You didn't have to put him in an ambulance. You simply had to get him onto the stretcher. And you had to secure the other athlete on the stretcher and make sure they can't move, they can't get out, they can't get away. You have to beat a man so bad, so brutally, so violently, so intensively that they cannot get off that stretcher. And that match that we saw, a match that we witnessed, has to be yet another match where I gotta give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Yes, you heard me right, 4.5 out of 5 stars. That's the first time I've rated a match this high tonight on Hardcore Justice. And I think I have to put this match over the Knockouts match, as this being my first favorite match of the night. This being one, then the Knockouts match, the Drew Galloway match. Even the first match, the street fight with the Hardys, that was decent. It was all good. But to give this pay-per-view a rating, you know, like I said, it was kind of hit and miss for me. You know, at times it was building momentum, then it lost track. There was too many in-ring segments. I think more time could have been given to matches instead of all the mic work that we witnessed tonight. It should have been all matches. That, you know, the focus should have been all matches. But I still will give credit where credit is due. So out of 10 stars, this is a tough one. 6.5 out of 10 stars, and I feel that is right. I think that's right. And 6.5 out of 10 stars. We have seen better Hardcore Justices in the past. Some matches did it for me. Some matches fell short of me. I think it was just too much in-ring interaction as it concerns on the mic and storyline development. Should have been all about matches tonight, but it is what it is. Your comments, your opinions, subscribe.